Oh, what is happening? It says an error.
Because
Okay.
we're live.
Right? Exactly. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Confidence Strategies with Carmen Milagro Special Edition. What makes this special? A couple of things. We've got Miss Linda Hayles back, our return guest. She's here with us this morning, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
Good. Well, you're always great. That's why you're back. And of course, this is also a special edition because we are celebrating. We're celebrating something very important. And I think you all know what it is. It's International Women's Day. Of course, personally, I think it's every day, but it is nice to be recognized on one day every year, March 8th. So happy Women's Day.
Yay.
So, Linda, you are back with us today because I wanted to do a follow up, and what better day to do it than today?
Yay.
Right? And I love things come together. We have ideas, we execute, we make it happen. That's what we do. But one of the things that we could start with is the last time we talked about, where you are, where you're headed, what you do. And what we can start with today is give us an update from the last time that we spoke, where your business was, where you are now, and how did you get there? Because I think that things have been going really well, even though we continue to be in this pandemic.
Yay. Thank you, Carmen. First of all, yes, happy International Women's Day to everyone. I think that as we continue this conversation, you guys are going to hear why International Women's Day is such a big deal to me today. I'll be doing live streams on my page as well. Every woman has a story. And no woman's story is like, oh, well, mine is better than that one, or I can top that one. No, every woman's story is valid. Every woman's story is part of who she is today.
Right.
And it should not be invalidated, nor are we in competition with each other.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And I wish that were true all the way around, but at least it's a goal to have.
Yes. And one of the reasons I'm embarrassed to say that I'm not sure of the year. It was 1854 or 18 something when the first International Women's Day, the women who founded this day, this is when it started. And even though I cannot remember the actual year, I just want to say that what an honor that some women stepped up way before our ancestors, way before we were here, and carved the way, built the trench for us to be able to have a live stream today and have freedom of speech and be able to vote and be able to make the money that we make and make the impact that we do in the world and not be silenced. So I just wanted to say that. So yeah, when we spoke last year, my business was ramping up. And when I say ramping up, it was building momentum financially. We were in the middle of the pandemic when you and I met last year. And I am in the online space. I am a coach who makes most of her money by interacting with people on social media. I would say that even though I have not done the real statistics, I would say that 95 or 96% of my income comes from my social media presence, mainly from Facebook. Now that Clubhouse is here, that's another monster. We can talk about another time, or we can talk about it later. But I make money online. I make money from going live, and it is not. I would just want to say it's not that I want to inspire and motivate women, but that's what I end up doing, inspiring and motivating women. And they reach out to me, Linda, how can I do business with you? How can you help me make more money in my business? And basically that is what I do. I help women make more money than they ever have imagined in their life through their business, because money is really an exchange for a service. Okay. Even if
Yes.
it's illegal, which I don't do illegal stuff, but even illegal money is in exchange for a service. And this is why it's illegal, because they should not be selling that, whatever it is that they're selling. It is a crime.
That's a whole different.
Right. But what I'm saying is money in its very basic state. Some people say money is energy. Money is an exchange for a service. Someone said, hey, I would like to pay you for what you have. And in my case, people pay me for the information in my head.
Right.
So it was the pandemic, and a lot of entrepreneurs, not just online entrepreneurs, brick and mortar entrepreneurs, were literally constricting because they were going out of business. Right. We were closed for over a month in several states, right? The PPP loans, there was nothing, the country wasn't ready for businesses to be closed for that long. And people began to lose their livelihood, which is their ability to make money, their ability to provide for their families. And while that was happening, and we were in the middle of the having more people on unemployment than ever in the history of the United States, okay, during the pandemic last year. And still, my business was booming. I did not contract, I expanded.
Right.
And I began to, I hate to use the word pivot because everybody was using it back then, but I shifted.
Right, exactly.
I was a high
You made a change.
That's right. I adopted some new ways. I was innovative. And the way that I became innovative was I invested money in other coaches that I saw that were shifting their businesses. I'm a high ticket coach, which means I sell my services at that point for nothing minimum than $10,000. And I saw other coaches who were charging more than I, $25,000, $30,000 to work with them. And they were launching like a $2,000 offer, a $3,000. And I was like, well, if they're charging that, I need to pay one of them so I can learn that strategy.
Right.
And that's exactly what I did. And when I learned that strategy, I launched a $2,000 program. 5 people took me up on it. That was an immediate in 24 hours, I made $10,000 in cash. And then that same week, I landed another $10,000 client and another $5,000 client. And right before the end of March, which is when the country shut down,
right,
I had a $25,000 cash month, means money was in my bank, paid in full.
Right.
And I said, other women need to know that while other people are contracting during the pandemic, I can teach them to expand because I just expanded.
Right. And you're walking the walk and talking the talk.
Yes. And so the mindset shift that happened there was when the fear kicked in. Fear is never, ever, ever telling you the truth. Fear says, hey, if you stop doing this, I'm going to protect you from whatever outcome. You know, hey, if you freeze, what you're fearing won't happen. But it's a lie. Every time that fear tells you to stop and you do, the thing that you feared actually happens. Just think about it in your life.
Exactly. I mean, I don't believe in living, out of fear or fear-based. And I think it proves itself over and over. That fear of investing in yourself during a pandemic that can cripple you, actually, versus investing in yourself in many different ways. I think you're going that path, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what I saw you do is you began to invest in yourself, right? With other coaches, but you also did other types of investment. Linda, if you could also share with us a little bit about that. I saw you completely rebrand yourself, right? You went from point A to point B. That required also an investment, a financial investment in your brand. I mean, there were a lot of people that stopped advertising, that stopped, all their social media ads or whatever, because they're, like you said, buttoning down the hatches. They were going inward. Can you talk a little bit about how did you change your mindset or alter your mind and say, well, wait a minute, I'm going to invest more in myself?
Yes. So right around June, I made a 5-figure investment into a coach. In April, I made a 4-figure investment into a coach that taught me the strategy of launching a low ticket offer to selling lots of low ticket to make a lot, right? And usually what I was doing was coach a couple of people with a lot at a lot of money, but this was the opposite strategy. Launch a shorter strategy that you can sell for a lower price point for a lot. So when I was done working with that coach, I immediately then invested a 5-figure investment into my next coach. With that coach, right? You know how we hear the phrase, tell me who you are, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. Well, once we're adults, that translates into if you want to be a millionaire, hang with millionaires.
Right.
If you want whatever result, you must get around those people. And the fallacy that most of us believe is that we're going to just meet those people somewhere and we're going to befriend them and they're going to mentor us. But the truth is, I paid my way into a room full of those people, full of coaches that were already doing $1 million, which I had not, and full of other entrepreneurs like me who, instead of contracting with fear, they expanded with possibility and they invested fearlessly. And you know what? I'll take that back. Maybe it wasn't fearlessly, but definitely invest while you feel the fear and do it anyway, because you know that if you keep this money right now, you're actually going to use it to live and it will not give you a return, versus if you put it into something that can make you money over and over and over again. Because I believe this wholeheartedly, Carmen, that the level of mastery that you have over certain skills directly impacts the way that you live and your income. So in order for me to shift my mindset and invest into my brand, I was around other people who were also thinking, how do I shift? How do I position myself? How do I stand out from the crowd? How do I become better? This right here that you see behind me, the Rich Coach Mastermind, came to be the last quarter of the year, but it's because my brand elevated to a very luxurious, high-end premium offers, a specific type of client. Right, and so my look had to match that, right? I always tell my clients, you've got to look like what you want to attract. Right. Period.
Right. And again, we go back to walking the walk and talking the talk. You have to be in alignment with what you're saying. There is, it's that whole thing, right? It's the branding and the marketing of who you are, who you claim to be, and who you believe yourself to be. That all has to be in alignment, because on some level, if it's not, people notice. If you're not authentic, if you're not really who you claim to be, on some level, there's a gut feeling, or that's, like people, it is what it is. And to me, and you and I talked about this last time, it's that ability, for entrepreneurs, for whatever it is that you're doing, you have to do the work and you have to know who you are. What are you trying to accomplish and why? What's your belief system? And if you can't figure that out, find someone that can help you figure that out, because you are your brand, whatever that is.
Whatever that is. And so my brand stands for boldness. For, if you watch any of my live streams, I tell it like it is. Right. If you watch any of my live streams, a lot of my live streams, you will see me upset because so many entrepreneurs, okay, I love to work with everybody, but because I am a Hispanic woman, I attract many Hispanic women, right? I attract a lot of brown women. I attract a lot of Black women because I am a minority, right? I am a woman of a minority group. So most of my clients are Latinx, BIPOC, women of color, Indian, Black, brown. And it is so ingrained in our upbringing, in our culture, the limitations. We're not even aware of our patterns of thinking that keep us stuck. And I will go live often and say, Look, you don't even need another course on business strategy. You don't even need another sales training. You need discipline.
Right.
You need to, what you said, Carmen, you need to be aligned with what you want. And let me go a little bit further on that.
Yeah,
We
please.
say things like, if I didn't come from a millionaire family will come from me. That sounds beautiful and poetic even.
Of course.
But you don't do it. In order for a millionaire family to come from you, you've got to invest in yourself. You've got to stop running up your credit cards. You've got to stop making the minimum payments. You've got to show up on time to your appointments. You have to value yourself. And we don't do these things. We have to live with excellence.
Right.
And we don't live with excellence.
And why do you think that is? What is it about our community's mindset that doesn't allow this? Many times it just doesn't allow it, no matter how many courses you take or no matter how many coaches you work with. What do you think that is? There's something deep rooted.
Yeah. Well, it's a couple of things. Before I get to the cultural and upbringing part, we live in a time and space in technology where it is very microwave. You can, from your phone, you can prove everybody wrong from your phone, right? There's people who are Google Nazis, and at the dinner table, they are Googling everything you're saying so they can prove you wrong, And so,
oh, yep.
That's why I apologize for not knowing the actual year, because surely somebody is going to watch this and go Google the year. Be like, it wasn't even 1854. It was 1970. Right. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm laughing because that happens to me all the time. And I'm like, it wouldn't even occur to me to try to correct someone in that manner, but it does happen to me all the time.
Yeah, it's like, well, the Moderna vaccine is better than the Pfizer because it's 1% better. Okay, bro.
Yeah.
So because we are used to Googling things and quickly finding out whatever we want, we also buy into the lie of marketing, which is download these top 10 business hacks. When you read the word hack, it implies shortcut, right? These life hacks, these hacks for life, right? There is no shortcut for you to lose 25 pounds. No. You need to cut 500 calories from your diet daily, and you need to burn another 300 to 400, and you need to do it consistently, because the thing is, because we don't get immediate results, we quit in everything. If we start saving $5 a week, we're like, man, that's not a lot of money. What is $5 a week? Well, check it out at the end of the year.
Right.
How much is $5 a week? Right? Times 52 weeks. I'm just using a very simple example.
Right,
but
of course.
Those 500 calories that you started eating through the pandemic, because everybody gained that pandemic weight. My face is so round. I'm like, wow, I need
you look great.
I need a tummy tuck on my face.
It's just a bad camera angle.
It's just shoot it from up here. So the same way, like if you started eating 200 to 300 extra calories, you're not even going to see it in 90 days, but you will see it in 18 months when you've gained 25 pounds. So we want these hacks, and we believe that if I buy a course, if I pay a coach, I'm going to do the shortcut. And the shortcut cannot take place because you haven't dealt with this, which this came from your upbringing by hearing things like, mira, mija, la vida es dura. Hey, life is hard. I heard that crap over and over again growing up. Yeah, I never repeated this to my children. I would say to my kids, many people that you will meet in life will never say life is hard, have never said life is hard, and have never experienced a hard life. The only way that we start experiencing hard lives is when we start repeating generational patterns of behavior. Our mother got pregnant at 16. I get pregnant at 16. We don't even know why, because my mom didn't sit down to teach me, hey, get pregnant at 16.
Right.
Right? So these are learned behaviors, conditioning. We learn, well, I fell in love. Let me marry him because I don't want to be looked at as a whore in my family, because if you don't marry the man you're with, you're sleazy. Right? This is a Hispanic thing. So we go marry this guy because we don't want our family to judge us. Then we say, well, I'm married. Let me have a baby. We don't plan for these babies. We do not say, hey, I'm not financially ready to start a family. I am not emotionally equipped to raise children to be spectacular human beings. Like it has nothing to do with money at first. It's all behavioral patterns of behavior that we pick up. No one in our family is doing anything great. No one in our family owns a business. And if they do, they're not scaling it. They just know how to make money. Let me explain to you what that means. Both of my parents were entrepreneurs. My mom had a beauty salon all of her life while I was growing up, and my father had contracts with multimedia companies in the city with billboards, the billboards that you see when you're driving down the highway, the interstate. My father used to make those, and they made really great money. But neither one of my parents, listen to this, if you are Latino, Latina, woman of color, Black, brown, Indian, indigenous, listen to this. They made a lot of money and they did not know how to position themselves to use that money to grow wealth. What they did was, I'm making a lot of money. Let me lie about it on my taxes so I don't have to pay a lot of taxes. Okay? And I'm not throwing my parents under the bus, because many of my clients come to me doing these same behaviors. And it's the reason why your business won't grow. So you don't go learn about wealth building because you're scared. You're not scared of success. You're scared of what you don't know. Oh my God, the IRS is going to come get my money. Listen, there are vehicles of investing where you can put your money in there legally, like IRAs, SEP IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401ks, life insurance policies, other investment vehicles where you put your money in there tax-free. So you don't have to give the IRS that much money, right? And your money is protected and it's growing for you. And if we're making that much money, we are of a certain age, we can become our own bank instead of lying to the IRS. And now I grew up in homes where we had everything we needed. I didn't grow up with scarcity or lack, but the homes my parents bought were not in the best side of town because their 1040s did not reflect all the money that they made. So because their 1040s didn't reflect all the money they made, it reflected that they were broke. We bought homes in the hood.
Right.
I went to schools in the hood. So when you wonder where the hell my gangster came from, I was fighting boys at 14 in school. I'm like, I didn't just get this way. I am a product of my upbringing. So I didn't see my parents do anything great with their money. When my father died, my mom lost the house. It was foreclosed. He was the main breadwinner. He didn't have a life insurance policy. To this day, today is my day to order my mom groceries. To this day, I take care of my mom because she suffered the financial backlash of not preparing for her future. Imagine that. An entrepreneur in the
It's devastating.
It's devastating. Imagine being an entrepreneur. Many people call themselves entrepreneurs, and what they are is proverbial side hustlers. They're just hustling. That's not an entrepreneur. And so that mindset shift, I was able to get that by joining masterminds where my own coach is making 7 figures. And he was like, Linda, I'm going to introduce you to my wealth advisor because you're making enough money that you need to be thinking about these projections. When I sat to talk to that man, I was blown away. When I sat to talk to my accountant and my bookkeeper, I was blown away. I am my own employee. I pay my taxes through ADP. I'm doing things right because I am building wealth by breaking generational cycles of poverty and mediocrity.
Right.
And so many people think I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm doing great. No, you're an entrepreneur because you don't work for anyone else. You don't punch someone else's clock, but you're still in poverty. You are doing things wrong because you're not paying yourself through a paycheck and you're not paying unemployment taxes for yourself. You wouldn't even be able to take advantage of an unemployment check in the event that you had surgery and needed to be out for 6 weeks out of your own business.
Right. Right.
So these are mindset shifts
Right.
that we need
Correct.
to have. I am a Hispanic woman who was homeless after divorce just 10 years ago, who just started making money. Spanish people, we like to say the other day, like recently.
Yes.
Los otros días, I just started making money the other day, that means very recently.
Right. Right.
So it is not normal. I am not the norm for a woman in her late 40s to right now. Listen to this, guys. If you're watching and you're an entrepreneur, I make more money than any man, any bank could grow for me. The return on investment that I make on myself, the kind of money I have between $25,000 and $52,000 months are my regular now. Right? I don't make less than $25,000 a month. There is no investment vehicle out there right now that could grow my money that fast. I am my best investment right now. This is why you should not be afraid to learn a new skill set. You need to master sales. You need to master communication, right? Part of communication is persuasion. You need to learn how to do that in order to sell your service, because money is an exchange of value for a service that you delivered.
Right. It's a tool to get what you want, whatever that is. Education, a pair of shoes. It's a tool. Therefore, why would we want to be afraid of using these tools? And I like what you said, Linda, too, because there's that whole. You and I talked about this yesterday. There's this sort of this attachment, this negative, and again, maybe it's cultural. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just in general. But there seems to be this, more money, more problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that and what you view, your view on that particular mindset? How do we change that for ourselves?
Well, thank you for bringing that up, because we did talk about it. More money, more problems. And these are ideas that we grow up with. Us, people who have never had money, we grow up hearing more money, more problems. We grow up hearing, you don't want to be rich? For what? So because society conditions us to believe that having money is bad. If you look at every movie where there's a villain, there's hardly ever a broke villain. All the villains are rich. Seriously. There's not like a crackhead villain. He's a crackhead. Nobody's worried about him.
Right.
The villain is never like the alcoholic guy in town, the crackhead, the wife. She's never, it's always the rich person. People get murdered because of money. Deals go bad because of money. You know what I'm saying? Like movies, even movies portray having money as a bad thing. So this comes from a very ingrained ideology that I don't want to, I don't want to be rich. I just want enough money to get by. And you will always have enough money to get by. Actually, you won't even have enough money to get by. So the more money, more problems comes from that same strain of ideology that, more money, more problems with the IRS. Like my parents believed more money, more problems. Right. And this is why, their accountant and bookkeeper person fix the numbers so that they wouldn't have to pay the IRS a lot of money, because more money, more problems. When really it's not a problem, but let's just call it a problem. That's a great problem to have.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. I don't know one person who is wealthy, successful, happy. I don't know one person that thinks more money, more problems, but they do say all the time, that's a great problem to have.
Let me tell you what's more problems. More ignorance, more problems. Because when I started making all this money, all I knew was that I should put at least 30% aside. I'm just going to put 30% aside for taxes. Even though I may not be in the 30% bracket, I know that I don't want to owe the IRS money and then not have it.
Right.
So at my limited mindset, I just knew I got to pay taxes from this money. Taxes meaning FICA, Medicare, self-employment taxes, all that stuff. Excuse me. And so I started putting that money aside. And then I started seeing that particular tax account. I call it my tax account. It's really just a savings account, but I put all my tax money over there. I started seeing it grow, and it was like 30,000, and I was like, I don't want to see $40,000 in there either. So I reached out to several accountants and bookkeepers, and I hired the one that I felt great with, and he said, Linda, you probably are not even you may not even be at the 22% tax bracket, but I'm so excited that you have this money over there. This is what we need to do. And then started schooling me with what I didn't know. And he said, if you made $250,000 last year and you're projecting making $500,000 or more this year, let's pay taxes this way. Let's give you this salary so that you're paying taxes on that salary. The other things that you're taking as a draw, as profit from your business, let's do it this way so that you're taxed differently. Let's turn your LLC into an S corp, right? So all these things that I didn't know, really, what the thing that's going to cost you more problems in your life is the things that you don't know. The most expensive problems that you have in your life right now, as you're watching me, is what you don't know.
Or what you're not willing to learn.
Right. So if you haven't learned it, you don't know it. Whether you're willing to or not, what you don't know is your most expensive, is your biggest liability.
Right.
And go ahead.
I'm sorry. What I meant is, there are some people, women, men, there are some people that claim to know everything. They're not coachable. They're not because they know everything. So if you're not willing to learn something new from someone else who is an expert in that field, exactly, it all boils down to what you said. You don't know what you don't know, but if you're not even willing to hear someone else, to listen, to take their advice, I mean, that to me is also, it's part of the problem. And I do think that some people operate in that way. They think they know everything and won't stop to consider that they are not, unless they are some sort of genius person that I've never really met or heard of. There is no way that they could know everything.
And here's what I'll say to that, as a business coach, as a sales strategist. Many clients come to me. Again, listen to me. If you're watching this, you're probably an entrepreneur. Many clients come to me and they're like, I want to, raise my rates. I want to sell at higher ticket. I want to approach corporations. I want to land $50,000 corporate contracts. I want. Great. You came to the right person. This is why we're working together. Then we start working together. Then there are things that they have to do and they won't do them.
Exactly.
So then when we meet again, I'm like, why didn't you do X, Y, Z? Mm-hmm. I've already worked with my mindset with such and such coach, with Ian LaVanzant, with whoever, and blah, 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 blah. This is why I'm not doing it. And here's what I say to them, and here's what I'm going to say to you. When you throw money at your problem, which is by hiring a coach or entering some type of training, and when you receive the training and you receive the knowledge that you paid to learn, and you don't take action on it because of your fears, and you justify why not, you get to keep every limitation that you fight for.
Right.
Those are your limitations. You hired someone because you wanted to push past your limitations, but now you're still sitting in fear and you don't want to take action. You get to keep your limitation. I used to be very attached to the outcome that my clients got, because I know that if you do the things I teach you, you will change your business, your life, your bank account, everything.
And you want it for them.
I want it for them.
But you can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves.
Absolutely. So I learned that, wow, you're sitting here justifying every reason. It's the same things that you hired me for, and you are unwilling to let them go. Then you get to keep those limitations. Stop lying to yourself that you want business strategy. Stop lying to yourself that you want sales strategy. Go get a really good therapist. And that's not to be mean. I have a degree in psychology. I love therapy. I think most of us should have like a ongoing therapist for the rest of our lives because of all the baggage and shit that we have to deal with. So serious. Because in my business, my fears get triggered all the time. When I make more money, I still think, oh my God, can I make that money again? I still think, oh my God, is it real? Am I really making this much money every month? Like, is it going to go away? Is it a dream? Am I going to wake up and it's gone? No. Right. So I still have those fears. I just don't listen to them. So that the reason, that thing that is costing you the most is what you don't know and that you're unwilling to learn. The reason you're unwilling to learn it is because of fear. One of the biggest mindset shifts when people tell me, but Linda, how were you really able to do this? And I will say, when I was 31, I joined a multi-level marketing company. I did not know at that age. Okay. I was, and I don't say this to like belittle myself or self-loathe or anything. It's just true. At that age, I was dumb. I was a average Hispanic woman going through life, not knowing what I didn't know was costing me a lot. I had never met people who set goals. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I ever heard my parents say the word goals inside of our home. I never met people that set goals and then track their activity for 90 days to make sure that they hit those goals. I was introduced to goal achievement in multi-level marketing when I was 31. I was introduced to the term dream big. I had never, like I have goosebumps. I had never at the age of 31 heard the phrase dream big. I just thought you're born into a family and hey, this is what you got and make the best of it. I did not know that you could set and achieve goals, that you could literally create your own outcomes until I joined multi-level marketing. And during my stay at that company, I started reading all sorts of personal development books and sales books, Zig Ziglar and Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy. And then I started reading Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and Tapping into the Subconscious Mind, and Think and Grow Rich, and all of these growth, wealth consciousness books. And then at the age of 36, I went and I got my degree in psychology. And every research paper that I wrote was on narcissism. And then I would be like, oh my God, I didn't realize my husband was a narcissist. Then I wrote a paper on codependency, which I had never heard the phrase codependency, that word, until I was 37.
Right.
And I wrote a paper on codependency, and I was like, I was codependent in this marriage. And I kept, and I wrote about conditioning. And I started seeing how my own patterns of behavior came from my childhood.
Sure.
Where I learned to settle. I learned to settle because at 16, I got pregnant and my father said, I'm going to pull you out of school so that you don't embarrass me. And you're going to be no good, but to be nothing but a mom. That's all that you will be. And you'll be lucky if a man wants to marry you now that you have a child. And that's what I believed. So I learned to settle at 16 when my father said those words to me. Right. And so through my education in psychology and all of this personal development work that I've been doing since I was 31, now at 48, it's the compound effect, like that 500 calories that don't really show up 3 months later, but 11 years later, you're like, oh my God, I'm 60 pounds overweight. It works in the positive. I've been slowly reading self-development books, accumulating
Right.
knowledge. And right, I listen to audiobooks. I'm constantly at a conference or some type of audio program or course or hiring a coach. This is in my subconscious now. I'm very aware of the words that I say because words have power. So when people tell me, how did you do it? I'm like, I've been doing this since I was 31, working on becoming a better version of myself. All of that to say, you must listen to me if you're Latin, Latino, Latina, Black, brown, woman of color, man of color.
And yeah,
you must be open to a different idea. You must be open to listening to things that go against your upbringing.
right.
You must be open to listening to someone else and saying, I've never heard that. That shit sounds good.
Right. Well, it's the same thing, right? Be open to a different outcome than what someone had planned or suggested for you.
That's right.
It's okay to rock the boat because your dreams are just as important as fulanito over there.
Yep.
What's the difference? There is no difference other than, okay, if you're going to dream big, because I've always believed in that since I was a kid, but that's my upbringing. That's what my mother, that's what she said. We've talked about this. She used to say, you are no better than anyone else, but you sure as hell, you're not any less than anyone else. So if you want to dream about being a movie star or whatever it is, then go get it. So, but what, the follow-up conversation with my mom was big. Now figure out how to do it because it takes actions. It doesn't you're not just going to sit back and, eating bonbons or watching TV and all of a sudden you're going to be on TV. You got to go do the work just like anything else, right? As an artist, as an entrepreneur, that was my mind meld. I am an artist. Everything I do comes from that place. But I was also taught, well, go get it. Go figure it out. Go get the education. Go learn from someone else. Surround yourself with people who are better than you. That's how I got into my music track when I was doing that. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but when I was interviewing, and I think it was one of your lives, I think, that this brought, this all came up for me again. When I was interviewing bandmates, I was scared to death because my mindset was, I want the best musicians I can possibly find and afford to pay them. But I don't have their talent. I don't have their talent, their knowledge. But if I surround myself with my bandmates that are way beyond my talent, what is that going to do for me? It did several things. It elevated my work ethic. I was more determined to catch up. They were willing to mentor me and elevate the band, and we worked as a team. That's always been my mindset. Surround myself with people who are better, who know more than me, and then become the sponge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It all is the same. It doesn't matter how we get around those people that are better than us. Because if you've ever been to church or you have a Bible, the Bible says that iron sharpens iron. So we need to get around iron. We need to sharpen ourselves with other iron. Even as a coach, as I coach my clients, inevitably, as I'm coaching my client through a situation, I see myself when I was in that situation, or I see myself how I'm still doing some of those same behaviors, and my client has no clue. They're sharpening me.
Right. Mutual exchange. It's not, yes, of course, we talked about money and it's a tool to acquire what you need, but it isn't always about the money. It's about the experience. It's about taking what you've learned and sharing it with someone else so that they can be the better version of themselves. And I think what I loved about what you were saying earlier, Linda, is, you have, since 31 to now, you've been acquiring all knowledge. Let me ask you this, because I think it is different for everyone, but do you feel that by acquiring, all this knowledge, do you think that your confidence level has also been brought along and brought up and elevated because of that, or not?
Well, of course it has, because I said at the beginning of this live stream, your level of income and the life that you live will be directly impacted by the skill sets that you master. Okay. And so one of the skill sets that I mastered is helping my clients make a lot of money. When I say a lot, 100,000, 200,000 fast in a couple of months, 3 months, 3 to 6 months, right? The reason I charge a lot for that is because my confidence in delivering those results is unshakable. If you work with me, I'm going to help you make a lot of money. So my rates reflect my confidence in my ability to give you those results. That's why I'm like, you want to learn how to make $100,000? You expect to learn that by paying me $2,000? Absolutely not. I'm not teaching anybody how to make $100,000 for less than $25,000.
Right.
Because I am so confident in my ability to teach you that. And I am, and like you said, Carmen, everybody has a different opinion. And I'm not saying this to go against you, or disagree with you. I agree that you should make ripples in the pond. I am one of those people. I am not scared to rock the boat, honey. I am not scared to, throw the rock and see the ripples. And I'm not. I do believe that it is about the money. When we say phrases like it's not about the money, even that phrase is a limiting belief, because we have been conditioned to believe that we should not make everything about the money, because making things about the money is bad. Like you shouldn't. That makes you greedy. You can't do anything in this life with money. And we've been conditioned to believe like money is not happiness.
Yeah, it is.
I disagree. Right? What people mean is money won't heal depression.
Right.
No, it won't.
Right. Correct.
But it can get you in a very expensive and high, with the best therapist institutions.
Right.
It can get you quality care. Right? It can't heal so-and-so's cancer. It can buy the best cancer specialist in the world. Right? It cannot do that. But I promise you, when I started buying things, okay, as a single mom, I really I know how to be very frugal. I've been frugal my whole life. I can stretch $1, right?
Right.
And I always bought things that I liked at outlet stores. Mm-hmm. So I bought Coach things at the Coach outlet, and I bought, you know what I'm saying? I bought,
of course, absolutely,
things at the outlet, and I'm not saying the outlet is bad.
Great skill set to have to be able to live on a budget. I think it's very important.
It's very important. I raised my kids. They had nice clothes, but we bought it at Marshall's, or you know what I'm saying? Like I was not at Macy's going back to school shopping for them for full price name brand stuff. Well, I deserve to buy me a Fendi bag that I want from Fendi and not from Poshmark.
Right.
And I shouldn't be judged for it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or I shouldn't feel guilty. Like,
no.
Oh my God. I shouldn't, right? So money, my experience has been one that I didn't have money till the other day, right? So till the other day. So I like to teach my clients that it is about the money, because the people that I work with, they want and need to get paid for a service that they delivered. Is all about the money, right? Again, I'm not teaching anybody how to make $100,000 for free. No.
Right.
I borrowed $144,000 to get my degrees, and I have paid over $140,000 in coaching. The student loans I'm still paying, but the 140,000 in coaching, I don't ever finance because I didn't have the credit score to get loans for that kind of money. Listen, if you're listening to me, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be like, oh my God, Linda is so relatable. When I got divorced in my divorce was final in 2012, and I started applying for credit cards like 2013, 2014, up until 2 years ago, up until 2018, I had 4 credit cards in my wallet, and these were the credit limits: 300, 500, 750, and another 500. No one gave me any more credit than $750. When PayPal Credit gave me $950, I thought I was like, what? I have made it as a decent person in society. PayPal gave me $950. And then recently, when I applied for a business credit with my bank, they approved me for a business card and a personal line of credit, and it was multiple 5 figures. And I was like, wow. Not because I want to use that money. I want to use those trade lines to raise my credit score, right? Because now I have higher.
Right.
You don't understand. This is all the stuff that you're not willing to learn, right? It's not go get all these loans so that you can use them. Is have these lines of credit there with these big credit lines that you don't use, so you can raise your credit score.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm trying to buy investment properties this year. I would like to buy my first investment property, anything from a duplex to a fourplex and above. I want to get into multi-unit investing, but that's another live stream.
Another, right. And
that's the Linda Hayles Grant Cardone training.
You're so funny. I love these discussions. I love it when we agree. I love it when we don't agree. I love because I always learn something. I learned today. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that phrase is something that I should no longer use. I know what I meant by it, but the impact of the word, you highlighted that for me. So thank you. I know that you've got your own live streams to do, and you've got clients to meet, and you got things to do. But before we let everyone go, what would you say that you like to leave of celebrating women everywhere? This is International Women's Day. I'm very grateful as always for our sponsor, because without them we wouldn't be able to do this. This is Music City. They are also about building dreams and helping our, that's a whole other thing that I work on. But what would you like to leave everyone with who stayed with us? Thank you, Amara. Thank you, everyone who's been watching. We're going to have the video and people can access it later, but celebrating International Women's Day, from Linda Hayles, from your heart, what would you like to leave everyone? I know we covered a lot, general, mindset, wealth growth, all of that, but what would you like to leave them with?
It is 2021, and you no longer, woman who is watching this, you no longer have to or should hold on to your story of no one in my family has done what I want to do. No one that looks like me has done what I want to do. Because there are people that look like you, Carmen, me, Amara, Veronica, whoever is watching this live stream, who we have role models and we have easy access. Literally, you can email Oprah Winfrey's editor right now and pitch an article for her magazine. You can, everyone is just 1 degree of separation away. You can go on LinkedIn, and are you a speaker? You want to land speaking gigs? You can go on LinkedIn and you can go look at other people who are speakers, and you can see the people that are leaving them recommendations. Those people hired them to speak and paid them, and you can go connect with those people who pay speakers. You are this far away from your next level, and it's so easy. Instead of using Google to argue with people, you should use it to connect. The amount of people that have connected with me through Clubhouse. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be in a Clubhouse room from the UK. It's going to be 6 a.m. my time, but it's noon for them. It's a room full of speakers, and they want me to come teach them about high ticket sales. I know for a fact that I'm going to get leads and clients from that room.
Right. Exactly.
So you are a woman and you're watching this live stream today. You do not have to hang on to your story of, I don't know how to do it. There's no one before me that has done it. We are leading the way. We are the torchbearers for the women like us. I'm the torchbearer for Hispanic women, for Black women, for women of color. And let me tell you something. If you decide to say, I will be a torchbearer too, understand that the heat that comes from those flames is hot. You're going to want to quit. You're going to think that it's hard, because it is. This is not easy. But when you know someone that's already doing it, it is simple.
Well,
That's my word.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that, because it's as simple as supporting one another. It's that simple. Do business with one another. Hire each other. That is how the rising tide brings all of us up. Instead of that mindset of every woman around me is competition. Men don't do that.
No, they don't.
Right? They don't. Men look at this like, hey, who am I going to buddy up with? Who am I going to work with? Right? It's just,
let me tell you something else. Let me tell you something else that men don't do. Men don't show up to a room and go, how can I add value here? They don't do that.
No, they already assume by the second they walked in the door that they added value.
Exactly. So as women, take a page out of men's book.
Yes.
Show up. If you're going to hire a coach, show up. But you want to show up to hire a coach with the same way that you show up to life, when it's convenient for you. Don't do that. Okay? It is International Women's Day today, of any day in the year. Decide that you're like, this is it. I'm doing it. And go do whatever you want. Maybe it's not money for you. Maybe it's weight loss. Maybe it's starting a nonprofit, right? Maybe it's starting your own band.
Right.
Maybe it's stopping the helicoptering mom thing and selling your house and living in 3 different countries for the next 4 years. Like, whatever you want to do.
Right. Wherever you are, whatever it is, go get it.
That's right. That's right. And I will say this is funny. This has nothing to do with International Women's Day, but it has everything to do with my personality. So I have a couple of tattoos, and my tattoos are very like me. So I have a little kitty on my right thigh.
Uh-huh.
It's a little black cat, and it's a little girly cat. It's like looking over her shoulder. Anyway, it's my little pussy cat. And it's on my thigh for that reason, because it's my pussy. Right. So I always say, when I die, because I want more tattoos. Obviously, I don't want to see them where they're visible, but I want other tattoos on my body that are meaningful to me.
Right.
So I want this tattoo of a dragon, because I believe that when you speak truth, even the Bible says that truth is like fire. It consumes.
Right.
So the truth must burn. I consider myself a truth teller, so I want a dragon on my body. And I say, when I die, whoever is at that funeral home is going to be like, I wish I had known this lady. Because she just looks like she was too much fun to be around.
That's a great goal to have. I love that. Well, I didn't know you had tattoos. We'll have to talk about our tattoos. Well, I have one. I only have one. But all right then. Thank you, Linda, for spending. I know we took the whole hour. Thank you for spending this time with us. This was our welcome back to Linda. For those of you that watched and stayed with us, thank you for joining us. We will make this accessible. I'm going to send you the video, Linda. You can do whatever you want with it. And again, thanks for tuning in. Happy International Women's Day. And I think we should celebrate each other all the time, every day.
Yes.
Work together to elevate all of us, because that's how it's done. actually.
That's how it's done. Thank you, Carmen, for doing this again. Carmen and I said, you know what, let's do it. It's out of the schedule, but let's just do it. It's impromptu. And I'm so thankful and grateful that you had me on with your, with your tribe today.
Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on to Confidence Strategies, because all of this that we talked about today is, in my opinion, how to how to help yourself have the confidence to go get your dream. Learn from us, access our pages, that's the one thing. If you don't mind, Linda, on our Facebook page, put all your contact information, and we'll leave them with your contact information right now too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can go to www.richcoach.co. If you put lindahayles.com, it's going to reroute you to my richcoach.co website. That's my new rebrand. And I'm excited. Just find me, my name all over the internet, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, but I'm mostly on Facebook and now Clubhouse and Instagram. That's where you'll find me the most.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Thank you, Linda. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And thank you, everyone, for watching, and have a great day. Bye. Bye, everyone.